The first thing I did was that I folded my fabric into four so that I can cut my front and my back piece together. From my shoulder to my bust is 10 inches. From my bust to my waist is 6. From the waist to the hips is 8 inches. My length gown is 35. Then I added 2 inches turning allowance. I'm going to measure my shoulder, which is 8 inches. I will also be marking my neck measurements, which is 3 inches. What I did next was to measure my sleeve measurement for my shoulder. You can go ahead to measure how long you want your sleeve to be. From my sleeve, I went down by 1 inch. This is absolutely not necessary, but you can do it. The next thing I did was connect my line from the 1 inch to my neckline. Once I'm done with that, before dividing all my measurements by 4, I added 3 inches to them. Then I marked it. You can actually add 6 inches or more to yours if you want it to be very free, but I prefer 3 inches. I'll be marking the same measurement of my hips to my hem line. After this, I'll be joining my lines. Right now, I'm just making sure I do not have any pointed edges in my waist and my hip. The next thing I did was to measure 2 inches for my sleeve turning allowance. After that, I'm just going to draw a slight curve at that point. What I'm going to do is to measure the depth of my neckline. For my back neckline, I'm going to measure 1 inch, while for the front, I will measure 3 inches. Once I'm done with the measurements, I'm going to go ahead to cut out my fabric. After I finished sewing, I realized it would be quite difficult for the bust to pass through that waist measurement. So before you cut, you can go ahead to add 1 inch to your waist measurement to make it free and easy to wear, since we'll not be adding zip to it. After cutting my back neckline, I'll remove a piece of my fabric so that I can cut the front neckline on the other piece. These are the front and back facing that I'm going to use. To cut out your facing, all you just need to do is to place an extra fabric under your piece, like front piece. If you are cutting your front piece, place it under the front piece and just trace out the neckline and the shoulder and how long you want your facing to be. I've also cut out my pockets. What I'm just going to do is to interlock all the sides, all the edges. I'll be attaching my pocket to my side. I'll measure 20 inches for my shoulder. That's where I'll place my pockets. That's where I'll start sewing my pocket. I'll make sure front sides are facing each other before I go ahead and stitch it. Once I'm done with that, I'll also top stitch the pocket. I'll go ahead and stitch the pocket on all 4 sides. What I'm going to do next is to sew my facing. I'll be placing right sides on each other. Then I'm going to trace out the neckline. But when I get to that midpoint, we'll make a V shape of like 4 inches down. I will also repeat the same process for my back piece. I'm just going to trace out the neckline. Once I'm done sewing, I'll be notching my facing. Make sure you notch close to your stitch at the same time. Don't cut it off. I'll be doing the same to my back neckline. Once I'm done with that, I'll be top stitching my facing. You should top stitch on the facing itself, not on your dress. The purpose of this is like when you wear it, the facing should not be showing. Guys, so this is how it should look once you are done. See how it looks neat and professional. Once you're done with this, you should also press it. We will be joining our shoulder next. You can go ahead to join it like this, but I will not be joining mine like this. What I'm going to do is to pin the facing together and also the shoulder together. So I'll go ahead and sew it. So guys, this is what it should look like once you are done sewing. I will be using this hem gum for the facing. I'll go ahead and press my fabric, making sure there's no squeeze part before applying my hem gum. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to sew my sleeve with the 2 inches sewing allowance I left. After that, I went ahead to join my side together. Once I get to my pockets, I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch, then I'll continue sewing like that. Once I get to the other side too, I'll go up by 1/2 inch again. I will continue sewing till I get to the hemline. After that, I'm going to sew my hemline with this 2 inches sewing allowance we left. So guys, this is what our finished project looks like. Don't forget to add an inch at that waistline. I have a tutorial where I showed how to make an inseam pocket. I'll link it in the description box below if you want a more detailed tutorial. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.